All right, the number one mistake when trying to get the toned body, building shape to your body is you're solely relying on getting leaner to try to get that look. But the reality is getting the toned look is not just about being leaner. There's two parts of the equation here. It's one, you have to, yes, get leaner, but the reason you have to get leaner is because you have muscle. That's the other portion of the equation is you need muscle so that, when you get leaner, you can actually see the muscle that's underneath the fat. And that's what's responsible for the toned look. It's having muscle. It's having muscle as well as being leaner, having a leaner body fat percentage. So, if you're solely just relying on getting lean, you're totally diminishing the other part of the equation. 1 + 1 = 2. It's not 1 + 0 = 2. So you're never going to get the outcome if you're solely just focusing on losing body fat. If you solely focus on losing body fat, you're not going to end up with the toned look. You're going to end up with the skinnier look. You're going to end up losing your curves because you've gotten rid of the body fat that was on you, that was on your butt, that was on your stomach. So you're just really going to end up with you're going to be a smaller version of yourself. You're just going to be skinnier. You're not going to be any curvier. You're going to be actually less curvier. So if you want to grow shape, keyword, like if you want to grow shape, if you want to create shape, you first have to build muscle. If you don't have muscle, whatever, there's no point in being leaner. You're just going to be smaller. You're not going to get the look that you want. So you need to create more muscle on your body. You have to resistance train. You have to, contract your muscles so that they grow and they get fuller, so that when you do lose the body fat, you're able to reveal that. You're able to reveal, the muscle that shapes your body, the curve, the curve on your butt, the lines in your stomach, the lines in your legs if you want. So that's what's responsible for getting the toned look. It's 1 + 1 = 2, and not just one part, of the equation. It's like, it just doesn't work. It's being toned is two methods. It's not just one. It's not just losing body fat. Sure, if you already have muscle on you, you can, but you're still gonna have to train so that the muscle stays on your body. Like, this is the issue. Like, if you're just doing cardio and if you're just, focusing on getting leaner, you're never gonna get the look. It doesn't work. I'm sure you've tried it already if you're here watching this. So make sure you're focusing on both. Muscle mass for sure, 100%. You need this. And 2, you're focusing then on getting leaner so that you can reveal the curves that you've created. You can reveal the muscle that you've created that's responsible for the shape. Okay, so the second most common mistakes when trying to build shape or when trying to shape your body is you are not training appropriately to actually grow that muscle. So, when I first started my fitness journey, I was wondering, why the hell am I not growing muscle? My body's not changing. Well, it's because, one, I wasn't working hard enough, which a lot of people don't. So you need to be working hard enough so that you're creating change within your body. You're creating a reason for your muscle to grow. If you're not challenging your muscle enough, it's never going to have to adapt. So then you're never going to grow muscle, right? So you have to work really hard to grow muscle, especially if you're, a girl like me who's, naturally very, very, very skinny. You're just going to have to work a lot harder than you are. So that means really focusing on your muscle contraction, really going to failure, going to muscular fatigue, not just, stopping when you're tired, because, if you stop before your muscles fatigued, you're leaving a lot on the table. You're leaving a lot of growth on the table because you're not stimulating your body enough for it to need to change. Your body doesn't want to grow muscle. It really has no interest. It only has interest in the body fat, and that's how it stays alive. So it could care less about growing muscle. So you have to force it to grow. You have to literally force your body to adapt. And the only way you force your body to adapt is by giving it enough stimulus for it to need to adapt. So if you're challenging the muscle enough, it's going to break down. It's going to break down and then get stronger because it doesn't want to get weaker. If you're constantly forcing it to get stronger, that's what it'll do. So that's the second most common mistake. So the third one is incorrect exercise selection. So exercise selection is incredibly important for growing your muscles or growing the shape to your body. So for example, let's take the glutes. A lot of women want to grow their glutes. It's a pretty hard muscle to grow. So the thing is, if you're constantly doing only one function of what the glutes do, you're not going to create the full 3D look. Like, you're not going to get even growth in your glutes, because there's three muscles in your glutes. There's a glute medius, glute maximus, and glute minimus. So these all have different functions. So the glute maximus is the biggest part of your butt, okay? And that's responsible for hip extension, right? So that's like your hip thrust, that's like your glute kickbacks, that's like your reverse hyperextensions, right? If you're constantly doing movements that extend the hip, then you are only going to challenge the muscle in that profile. So you need to be doing exercises that hit all these different muscles within your glutes, and they're challenging them in different positions so that you can fully fatigue your glutes as a whole. And then when you fully fatigue your glutes as a whole, your glutes are going to grow all in the areas that you want. They're going to grow, all around. You're going to have 3D looking glutes, and you're going to have a balanced look as well. So make sure that when you're choosing the exercises, within your glute program or within your training program, that you're picking them wisely. You're picking exercises that target the glutes from all areas, not just one area, right? The glutes also adduct at the hip, so that's your side steps, that's your hip abductor machine. So the glutes have different functions, and you have to always challenge them so that you can get the most out of your training. And then your glutes are going to grow that much better and that much more.